For 9 consecutive years, New Mexico has ranked 50th in education. This is despite the fact that for the FY25 budget, we increased our education spend by $1.4 billion. That's billion with a B. The 3 consecutive years before that, we spent $1.1 billion trying to improve our educational rates. And unfortunately, after 9 years, there has been no change. We're still in last place. And you might ask, why do I care? Some of us are older and don't have kids in the school system. So maybe we don't think that being 50th in education is anything other than just another statistic about New Mexico being in the last place of a lot of things. But I would ask you to consider the fact that in addition to being 50th in education, we're also 39th in economic development. The fact that our kids are not getting a good education means that they're not well suited to come into the workplace and be productive members of society. In addition to that, they are also not in a good position to be making decisions about what happens in our community. As somebody who's in their early 60s, I am going to be expecting that these young people are going to be making decisions that affect me when I'm too old to really do much for myself. And I want them to be in a good position to do that. Because I can't tackle the education system in New Mexico, I have come up with a new program called Same Seed, Different Soil. The idea is getting involved with young people that are late high school, just graduating high school, that need mentorship, coaching, guidance to become the citizens of tomorrow that we need to help educate our younger generations from them and put them into a position where they're going to be able to turn things around for New Mexico. So some other alarming statistics that I want to share with you today is that 89% of high school guidance counselors think that their students, their seniors, are well prepared to go into college. But if you talk to the college guidance counselors, they think 28% of the kids are ready to come into college and be successful in that environment. When you go to the colleges 4 years later and you ask them, are those kids ready to go out into the world and become productive members of our collective society? The university guidance counselors say, absolutely. 98% of them think that those kids are going to be ready to go out and work in the workforce. But if you go out and you poll the people in the workforce, 11% of them say that those students are ready to come into the workforce and be productive members of society. So obviously we have a problem here. And as I said before, you may think that this doesn't impact you or that you just don't have a big interest in it because you don't have any kids. But I will also share with you that 47% of our state budget goes to education. So almost 50% of every tax dollar that you pay in property taxes, in food taxes, in healthcare taxes, any place that you pay taxes, 47% of that is going to education. And we're failing miserably. So, since I can't affect the high school or the education system at all, I'm going to try to tackle it through Same Seed, Different Soil. I'm going to take these kids that are coming out of high school who are now young adults who get to make their own decisions. They're not relying on the schools, they're not relying on their parents to help them decide what they're going to do with their life. And I'm going to take them through a 3-phase program. Phase 1 is bringing them into the program and doing some assessments to find out what drives you. What do you want in life so that we can try to help them identify what kind of a career would be a good career for them. A lot of times kids will come in, they say, I want to be an actor. It's like, great, so do 500,000 other people in New Mexico. But your chances of being an actor, being successful, making a living out of it is pretty small. So what is it about being an actor that appeals to you? Can we find another occupation and career that will help support you and help you be part of a better New Mexico? Then, after we've done these assessments, then we start getting the kids connected with the different employers in the city. I go out, talk to different employers, ask them if they'll put on a presentation to bring these kids in and talk to them about what is it like to work at a construction company, Are the only jobs in a construction company architects and general contractors? No, we have HR people, we have finance people, have all kinds of people that work in these fields that they might want to be part of. Then as they're starting to figure out, maybe I want to work in this field, then we start arranging for them to get internships so that they can actually experience what is it like to work as a medical assistant in a healthcare environment. Once they're starting to figure that out, then they graduate, we get them set up for their education. So some education may require a certificate, some education may require going to a trade school and getting into a union, such as an electrician or a plumber. And then some of them may end up deciding to take the college path, and so we want to get them in college. So the last piece of phase one is getting them involved in getting whatever education track they need to get on. Then they move into phase two. Phase two is really, really important. So many of the kids that are coming out of high school do not have the skills they need to survive in the adult world. Those are skills like conflict resolution, how to give and receive feedback, how to handle your finances, how do you stand up in front of a group of people and express an idea in a clear way where others can understand you. So all of phase two is providing coaching and training over the period of the time that they're getting their education to teach them those skills and keep reinforcing them month after month after month. So by the time they get to the final phase, which is where they're finishing their education, we help them with resume writing, interview prep, dressing appropriately for the job that they're going to go into, and working with the employers to provide some on-site onboarding for that particular company so that we can stay in touch with the hiring manager and the student to make sure that they're going to get the information, that they're getting the information that they need to be successful in that job. Take some of the pressure off of the employer and take some of the pressure off of the new employee and this young person who's going to go out and help change the way things are done in New Mexico. So what I have is an ask of all of you. If you work in a business environment and you have a desire to help these kids do better so that New Mexico does better, or you happen to be connected to a nonprofit who might have funds that's already allocated to helping people that are in this young adult phase, I ask that you get me in contact with them so that I can talk to them in more depth about this program and talk about how we might be able to partner so that we can take these very, very valuable seeds that we have and plant them in new soil so that New Mexico is not 50th in anything anymore. Thank you, Sandra.